Alright, so hello, my name is Philip, my partners are Drew and Tristan, and for our Make a Molecule project we decided to do morphine with chemical formula C17H19NO3. So morphine Lewis diagram. So this is the Lewis dot diagram for morphine. As you can see, there are 39 total atoms within morphine, and that makes for a total of 110 valence electrons. There are 19 hydrogens, 17 carbons, 3 oxygens, and only 1 nitrogen. Now, there are 6 bonds, which are bonded with what's called a 3-electron bond. You can see those in a hexagonal shape near the top of the Lewis diagram. That forms what is called benzene. So those are with 3 electron bonds. Now, there are 33 single bonds within morphine. That makes up the bulk of the total bonds. There is one double bond, which you can see near the bottom of the diagram, bonded between 2 carbons. And there are 7 total lone pairs, 6 of which belong to the 3 oxygens of morphine, and 1 belonging to the lone nitrogen. Okay, the structural diagram. Here we can see the structural diagram of morphine, which takes a similar shape, except with the bonds, of course, replaced by lines, showing what sort of structure morphine would make. So there are 21 total central atoms, which encompasses every atom in morphine except for the 19 hydrogens, making for a total of 21. So 3 of the central atoms, which are the 3 oxygens, they all have a bent shape. Now, there are 10 trigonal planar shapes, and those trigonal planar shapes are the 6 carbons at the top hexagon, and as well as 4 other carbons throughout. Now there is one trigonal pyramidal shape, and that is the single nitrogen. And there are 7 tetrahedral shapes, which are the majority of the, not the majority of the carbons, minus the trigonal planars, the majority of the carbons. And a tetrahedral shape has 4 bonded atoms and no lone pairs. So this is a great deal of the atoms have 4 bonded atoms and 0 lone pairs.
Properties of morphine. Morphine has high melting and boiling points, which are approximately 225 degrees Celsius and 447 degrees Celsius. It is also soluble in polar solvents such as water and alcohol. Morphine has such high melting and boiling points because it has a lot of electrons as well as all the intermolecular forces and hydrogen bonding. Dipole-dipole force. Polar molecules are attracted to one another, forming intermolecular bonds, and the strength is determined by the polarity of the molecule. Morphine has dipole-dipole force because of the different electronegativity values in the atoms. London dispersion force. The movement of the electrons leads to momentary bond dipoles, creating attraction between molecules. The strength is determined by the number of electrons. Hydrogen bonding. Hydrogen bonding is when hydrogen is directly attached to oxygen, fluorine, or nitrogen. This creates strong bonds between molecules. Solubility. Morphine is a polar molecule, meaning that it is a solvent, and in the solubility rule, like dissolves like. The solvent will always dissolve the solute.
For a molecule comparison, we chose methadone. Methadone, just like morphine, is used to kill chronic pain. Its chemical formula is C21H27NO. Methadone was created during the Second World War, around 1937 to 1939, by the Germans, specifically Gustav Erhard and Max Buchmach, to reduce the pain of their soldiers when injured. It was approved for use as an analgesic in the United States in 1947 and has been used in the treatment of addiction since the 1960s. Its melting point is on average about 235 degrees Celsius, and its boiling point is its melting point is on average about 235 degrees Celsius, and its boiling point is about 423.655 degrees Celsius. What's morphine used for? Morphine is often used in the medical field as a severe chronic pain reliever or painkiller or analgesic. In 1853, doctors used high amounts of morphine, which often led soldiers to be very addicted to the substance. This was known as a soldier's disease. However, in the modern day military, since we know so much about morphine, we can prevent soldiers from being addicted to morphine. Can this chemical be found in nature? Yes, morphine is an opioid that can be found in the poppy plant. Usually it will be extracted in a dark residue form from the poppy straw. Poppies are located anywhere on Earth, from the cold tundra climates to warm, dry deserts. Can it be bought from a chemical catalog? Yes, it can be bought from on sites such as FisherScientific.com, as well as the black market and deep web, but those are illegal. Morphine, how much would it cost for 1 kilogram of morphine? It costs about $30,000 for 1 kilogram of morphine, or $30 per milligram. Is it toxic? Yes, morphine, when not used properly in a medical environment with a certain prescribed amount, is toxic. It may lead to death and other serious consequences such as addiction. What's the LD50 for morphine? The LD50 for morphine was determined to be 670 milligram per kilogram. How much to kill a rhinoceros? Based on the calculations, 670 milligram over 1 kilogram times 2,000 kilograms is equal to 1.34 million milligrams, or 1.34 kilograms. So it would take about 1.34 kilograms to kill an adult rhinoceros with an average weight of 2,000 kilograms.